Rock the Shazba. Rock the Shazba. Do 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 do.
Hey, stop rocking my Shazbot.
Welcome to Discussing Tabletop. I didn't count us down.
Did we just open with me saying stop rocking my Shazbot?
You're welcome. I couldn't help it. I was doing the thing, so I started going live, and then you said that. I didn't even expect you to say that.
Oh God!
I don't know if you were unmuted when you said it though, so I can't tell.
He hurts my soul.
You're welcome. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to Discussing Tabletop. I've got the first topic up already because I forgot to put it down. Welcome to Discussing Tabletop. It's May 2nd, 2020. This is like somewhere in the 140s. It's like 148 or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I looked it up a second ago and I've already forgotten because I forget everything. Judging that, like, there was something I was
147.
Yes, thank you. There was something I was like trying to remember the other day that was like an obvious thing that everybody should know, and I couldn't remember it.
Bob.
Is it 147 or should it be one? Yeah, it's 147. Okay, I have the right numbers. I
just thought that's the number you have down, so that's why I said it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure because sometimes I'll forget.
You had the right date, so
I had the right date.
I assumed it was the right number.
Look, I have to try to remember to update that every time, and I'm forgetful as heck. But
you forgetful?
I know.
Like, where's Claude's names yet?
I don't know, Maxwell. I will get the two of you mixed up a couple of times more, probably.
Yeah, because, you know, there's a skeleton...
There's no reason to get you mixed up, but I will. But we do have a interesting set of things to talk about on the docket here, and if you're in chat live when we're up on Twitch, you can see the docket in it now as I've thrown it up. We're going to talk about Paizocon, first of all, and as we had been discussing a little bit pre-show, we're going to talk a little bit about things that are coming out from Pathfinder this month. Just a few things. Not as big as talking about Paizocon being online now. It was canceled, and now it's online. So, I mean, it's existing in some way. Wizkids has announced a Seasted in their Flotilla brand, but like a two-player version of it. I want to talk about another Conan book because they include Serpent Men, and I'm sorry, Conan the Adventurer, the animated series with the catchy song where he fought Serpent Man, is one of my all-time favorite Conan things.
No more Conan.
So I just want to bring that up because of Serpent Man. That's the only
Serpent Man.
I know. Then we have the Alien RPG is taking pre-orders for both its starter and its first adventure. I'm definitely curious about an adventure set in the Alien RPG. You know, how horror is it? How not horror is it? iello announces a game called Kitara, which is kind of neat looking, and then there's Batman Who Laughs Rising, an expansion to Batman Rising board game. And then we have our normal segments.
Did you mention Seasted?
I did. Wizkids announced Seasted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. In their Flotilla brand line. Yeah. But first off, well, how was your week, Joe?
It was a week.
Yeah, I can say
more
the same
staying
thing.
at home,
God,
more working from home.
I can understand that. Lots of at-home stuff. But yeah.
At least you have people you can associate with in your home. I have myself. I have me, myself, and I.
I don't know if I want to associate with some of them.
But you got your cute niece, who's a terror.
She is cute. Why is the Pathfinder Starfinder Beginner's Box PDF in my cart on Paizo?
I don't know. Maybe you were thinking about getting it.
I don't. It's been in there forever because I think I put it in there like last time we maybe accidentally put it in there when we were talking about something with it. But anyway, that's like a couple months ago. Good to know that Pathfinder's cart does not clean out. Paizocon. So Paizocon had been planned to go on. It would have been a physical thing. It's been canceled because everybody's staying safe. But Paizo has excitingly announced that they're doing an online version of it. It's
which with what it looks like they're going to be doing is some of the stuff that I was saying about previous cons we talked about going online that they're going to be using different platforms to actually do games and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think gives you more of that actual con experience then.
Yeah. It was originally for Memorial Day, and it was going to be in Seattle. It's coming back to May 26th to 31st, so you got quite a bit of time before you have to worry about if you want to be involved within it. They're going to have seminars and live plays on Twitch. Okay, so like this is the first con that I've seen not using Facebook but Twitch, and I think Twitch is a bigger platform than Facebook streaming, but I'm just saying. But anyway, they'll be scheduling games via Warhorn and one, which I'm not even sure about. I think that's probably their thing for scheduling it, and run on a variety of platforms such as Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Astral, D20 Pro. There's an official Paizocon online server as a general hangout for con goers. Blogs on Paizo.com, lots of stuff that they're planning. They are setting up an online homepage with schedules, game registrations, details on that stuff that is going live as of yesterday. So you can check it out now. They do recommend like having a Paizo account to be ready for it. I mean, that's probably the big thing is, like, you know, have a Paizo account. Okay, look. Now, I'm not even signed in, and in my cart that exists. I'm calling bullshit. They just want to, like, give me this. I'm, like, checking, and I'm like, I haven't even signed in, and my cart has something in it. Why? Are you just trying to be like, hey, you should buy this?
Yes.
This is just weird. Oh, Paizo. But yeah, no. I'm just gonna remove that from my cart because I don't know why it was there.
Buy it.
I don't need it.
We all need it.
I mean, the fact is, if I was gonna get one part of it, I'd get a physical copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, they partnered with. You can link to their Discord on Paizocon. Okay, I'll link it in chat here, and I'll put it up when we put out this video on YouTube. Paizo.com/Paizocon. 6 days of gaming. GM signups are on now. Player startups say on May 16th and go through May 24th. So if you want to be a GM, you could sign up now. That might be something to be interested in on my end. You know, I just thought about it. Like, that might be a good way to throw out some names recognition and connect with Pathfinder a little bit more, just a tiny bit. But you know, but yeah. So this was an interesting thing that they did because like they canceled the convention back on the 27th, and you know. Them coming up with an idea of things to do and still have their big celebration is good for them, I think.
Yeah. And it's a way they can still promote, you know, their company and everything. So I think it's a great idea. I think it looks like they have some good plans for it. So I think this should be a successful one.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Oh God. Sorry. That was my bad. I forgot that it would do that. I joined the Paizocon server just in case. And it made everything bad. Briefly.
Bad Matt. No Matt treats for you.
Too bad. I will have all the treats. But, yeah, no, so yeah, so it's really interesting. Glad they're doing it. Happy to see more of it, and maybe, you know, look into being involved in an event like this. And the thing is, I'm happier about this online con than the last two online cons, but the last two, I didn't feel like they had a huge, like, level of announcement. They're like, hey, we're going to be doing something in 3 days!
Yeah, well, not just that, but it was also more just, you know, you can watch some panels, you can do some discussions. This has more activities.
Yeah, interactivity.
And I think that's, you know, if you're going to be doing that, if you're going to be trying to replicate a con online, you need to have that, you know, activity level as well. Otherwise, it's just like, oh, I can watch some panels. Cool.
Yep.
This at least gives you a community feel. It gives you a chance to interact with people in some way. So I think that's a better idea.
Definitely. I definitely think this is a much better idea. So, but so Paizocon, that's the first big thing. And then we did want to talk a little bit about some of the releases from April. First off, because I don't think we talked about it, the fourth adventure of the Extinction Curse is called Siege of Dinosaurs. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They won. You have an adventure called Siege of Dinosaurs. It's incredibly silly, and I love it. And, there you go.
Can I ride a T-Rex?
I can only hope. I mean, they do have a picture of a kobold drummer on the back of a stegosaur that's using, like, the spines to, like, hold the two drums up on either side, and the drummer just runs in between the two of them because he's small.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
And a very piratey looking dude.
Very piratey. And then, of course, what you were excited to talk about a little bit.
Yeah, I saw the...
Okay, there it goes. I froze up for a second.
I saw they are having a Pathfinder Chase cards deck coming out. It's 55 cards.
Okay, we froze up again. What's going on? Why is Discord Okay, hey, there we go. Sorry.
I kept talking and I looked over and I saw your face was just like...
Yeah, I don't know why it froze up there for a minute. Maybe just issues on Discord. So we should be careful. Yeah. You were right at your beginning, actually.
Okay.
When it died for a minute.
Yeah, so Pathfinder has a 55-card chase deck that they have come out with. Different obstacles you do run across during the chase scene in the game. Like a festival, which you could need a DC 20 acrobatics or athletics check to weave through or push through, or a DC 18 performance check to join it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, fire runes, a bear, wandering monster.
Freaking a bear. There's a bear! Why is there a bear here?
An unholy sight. An unholy sight in a festival with a bear that has a fire rune carved into its chest.
That poor bear! It's going to explode.
And he gives you a bear hug.
No, it's just sitting there. It's like all of a sudden you're just like, shh, like.
Bears can explode.
Yeah. Poor bear. Just detonate that bear.
But I think it's interesting. It gives you something cool. Each obstacle does have like a level of difficulty to it. Like the fire rune is an obstacle 2, mm-hmm. where a wandering monster is an obstacle 4, or the unholy sight is an obstacle 4 with 2 orange dots. I don't know what the dots mean.
They probably have a thing that means what they connect to. Definitely, yeah. Like the orange dots probably have something else connected to them.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. They just don't explain it in the blurb. So
yeah,
but it's only $15 for a 55 card deck.
Which each one has their own illustration on them. They're like.
Oh yeah, they're beautifully illustrated. I love the festival because there's for some reason there's a medium-sized float of a dragon and then a humongous float of a goblin behind it.
Yeah,
it's like 10 stories tall, and it's the least 2 or 3 times the size of the dragon float.
Yep.
I don't just like.
You mentioned it was a goblin festival.
I just want to join the performers and just be like, yeah, I'm totally rocking out in this festival for no reason. Wait, wasn't this part of a chase scene?
I think most of the time, like, you get festival, it would be like, oh hey, we're running. We're not part of what's going on. We're just part of this festival that's going on. Blend in, blend in, blend in.
Yeah, I know, but it's just kind of funny. It's just like, screw the chase. We're gonna just party.
Party out, dudes!
Coachella.
Woo! Spring break.
God.
But
yeah, that's all I had to say about it. I thought it was just interesting.
yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty neat little thing that they have thrown out there. All their decks are really interesting, and this one particularly has like a really good theme to it. Like, I always enjoyed their like crit decks and stuff, because you could draw a card and be like, this unusual thing happens with your critical, and the thing is 95% of the time you pull out one and be like, this couldn't apply to the situation.
You grow 10 times your size, but then shrink to the size of a lima bean.
No, there's nothing that weird. That's magic. That's magical mishaps, which I don't think they have yet. They could. They could.
Wild magic surge, activate.
That's D&D. Even though I think there's something
I
equivalent there's probably something equivalent Pathfinder. Oh god, that's not one. Damn it! Stop breaking everything. So next up, though, we do want to continue talking about our interesting topics for today with Seasted. So Seasted is a 2-player flotilla.
Yeah, it's a 2-player resource game, which you don't see really many 2-player resource games.
Yeah, that's the thing about a resource game, is resource games, normally the more players you have, the more dynamic it becomes. You know, like Settlers, I think you could technically play, you might be able to play 2 players. I don't know. You might need 3. Can't remember. But like a good example, Everdell, which we like playing, which we got a copy of from the nice people at Starling Games. It is really fun with the 2 people. You know, we can do it with 2 people, but the more people you have, the more dynamic it has, because it gives you more choices and stuff, and like also like limits your choices. It changes things up. But this one's specifically designed for 2 players.
Catan is 3 to 4.
Yeah, so yeah. Like, I think most resource management games are more than 2.
Yeah, I mean, some of them may go like 2 and like 2 to 5 or something like that, but I've never seen one that was just meant to be just 2 players.
Yeah. Because it is a specific 2-player game, too.
Yeah.
Say about
so that's definitely makes it interesting.
So you are rivals competing for control of 4 flotillas, which are the last remnants of Old Earth. You don't want to sabotage each other outright because it would threaten all the people. So, you know, you have to balance actions that are gonna, how much it would help you, but most actions also have like it might also help your opponent. So you have to see like that balance of like what actions you want to take, because you're trying to push yourself forward, while many actions have that double-edged swords of helping your opponent, and you have to kind of figure out which one works best. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
They say some rules. Let me see if they got the rules up. Yeah.
I do not see them yet.
Okay. Wizkids usually puts the rules up at some point in time, though, too.
Yeah, but the release isn't until October.
So it's a little while away. It's an interesting announcement that they've got now.
It's also only a 30-minute game.
Yeah, they say the span of a lunch break. Easy rules, play at the span of a lunch break. It does have the normal 2-player, but it also has a solo mode, which I'm guessing you're playing against the board or against like a challenge or something, and I'm not sure how you would set that up. Like a single-player resource management, I could see working if it has the right setup for it, or if it has like certain goals that you have to meet. And if you don't meet those goals, you lose, you know? And that's really only how a single-player works, but it has to be calibrated properly, because the thing is about like a resource management, the problem is you can steamroll very easily, and like if you're a single player, what challenges are you facing that would prevent you from that kind of steamroll? I'm curious about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's it's interesting. It makes me curious to see the rules when they finally put them
Yeah,
out.
I mean, I want to play Flotilla in general. I don't think I've ever had a chance to.
I think it's one of those ones that we may have discussed. I'll make note of it. We can
Yeah,
see.
I have it in my tabletop.
Ah.
We just haven't ever played it.
Yeah, I think it's it's the usual reason why we don't play things is that we
get things last minute and it's like, let's play something we know.
Yeah. We should come up with a list of games that we want to learn and check out maybe each be assigned a different set of rules and be learn this game, and then when we come up to it, we can suggest them, or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Flotilla, Seasted in the Flotilla universe, because apparently they're coming up with their own universe randomly.
They might do a series of games in that.
They might, or maybe it's just supposed to be it could be just a one-off thing too, that they're just this fits along the same themes. You never know. There's a lot of reasons to have something like that, but it looks neat. You'd have to wait till October, so it's quite a ways away that they are announcing this ahead of time. But I'm Wizkids news has been a little slow, so maybe that they're finally getting some things together for this year, or nothing exciting's come out and I've just missed it. That could happen too. But Seasted, keep an eye on it. It looks like an interesting one. Only 30 minutes for 2 players, and a decent 2-player game is not something that is awful.
No, agreed. Especially a quick one.
Yeah, exactly. So, next up, we talked about a bunch of them, but there's one more to talk about, only because of Serpent Man. Only because of Serpent Man.
You're a Serpent Man.
No. Because Star Metal won't banish me back to vanquish the evil Serpent Men and drive them back into another dimension.
Sure?
I might be the cruel wizard Rathamon. I can't guarantee that one there.
Are you sure you're not from another dimension?
Well, if I was the cruel wizard Rathamon, I'd technically be a giant lizard that has a magic ring that turns me into a person.
Ah.
And then I could use said magic ring to do horrible things cast a spell of living stone upon someone's parents.
Oh, I steal your magic ring and hit you in the head with some star metal.
I think I'd just be a giant lizard then. But as soon as your ring is stolen, then the even greater villain shows up, because that's how these things work, because Saturday morning cartoons. Though Conan did resolve the entire series, which is impressive for his Saturday morning cartoons. Okay. So, Conan the Exiles. It's another one on the... I'm going to put this under this list of Conan the Borderlands, because that's what it really is they're doing they've done 3 books in a row about the areas around Conan's world that are more mentioned than gone into. So yeah, so it does bring about interesting things, more archetypes, backgrounds. Talks about exploring the exiled lands and what's out there. Dealing with more of some survival mechanics because of that. Crafting your own material. The exiled gods. Things like Serpent Men, Sand Beasts, Abyssal Remnants, which I'm pretty sure is the thing they show on the thing here, which is it's Cthulhu Monster. Conan can battle Cthulhu Monster. But we also have to remember, I think we mentioned it before, Lovecraft and Howard were pals, so that makes sense.
I hate when Conan battles Cthulhu.
I know, apparently. And they also have build your own city rules. That's actually kind of cool. I'm gonna put that one there. The build your own city rules, I think, is the cool thing that they're at the bottom of the stuff that they add into this one. Build and improve a city of yours.
I'm just looking at the pictures, and what I think is the Abyssal Remnant is missing a leg.
Possibly.
If you zoom in, it only has its one leg.
Okay. Oh, so the thing about this is it's also based upon some of the material that was put together for the Conan Exiles game, the MMO. Because that game was put together for a bunch of stuff similar to this. So it's including a bunch of that stuff to it. Even though that game, I think, has had very interesting mixed reviews, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, because I was like looking at some of the pictures, like these look like they're screenshots of a video game.
Yes, they are, because they're taking inspiration from these things in the video game. On the bottom row, it looks like those are the screenshots mostly.
Yeah.
Like, which, I mean, if you're trying to unite all of, like, the brand, I can understand it, you know? And, like, I'm sure there are fans of the game. Again, it's an MMO, so of course there's people playing it that would love to do this one. Or be interested in it because of, you know, the connection there. So, yeah. It's interesting. They're Serpent Men. I'm happy
At least
about
it's
that.
not another job.
Yeah, no. Because it's Conan the Exiles, you know.
Yes.
It's not just about Conan doing a job. You know, it's about him. It's about him forming a band called the Exiles.
A band?
Yeah, I could see him on bass.
Conan the roadie.
No. He's on bass.
No, he'd totally be a drummer, man.
Okay, yeah, good point. Conan is a
He hits things.
He hits things.
He's a drummer.
Can a drummer be the lead singer? Because I want Conan to also be the lead singer.
There has been bands who had the drummer as the lead singer, yes.
Okay, awesome. So then Conan would also be the lead singer. Because, like, you know, like, when he's a wordsmith, and when he's not, he's not.
So he's definitely a metal band?
Yes!
He's death metal?
Yeah, come on, they're called the Exiles. They're death metal extraordinaire.
Oh, God.
This is our new canon. Conan and the Exiles.
Now, for some reason, when you say that, I just picture like a doo-wop group.
Going across the land, sword in hand. By Crom, we're going down to
Why did I have to say this?
Temple to slay the Serpent Man. Slay the Serpent Man. Taking out those followers of Set. Oh, yeah. James Earl Jones is getting his comeuppance.
What?
Don't you remember, in the original Conan movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the big villain was James Earl Jones. And he could change into a snake.
I've never watched it.
It's not bad.
So, what's better, though? James Earl Jones as a big evil villain turning into a snake, or James Earl Jones as an African warrior with a double-bladed axe?
Made of aluminum. I don't know. They're both wonderful. I mean, one technically has Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the other has, like, molten gold, which doesn't look like molten gold pouring all over. That looks like just, like, gold-colored water pouring over people, and then instantly turning them into gold statues.
So, no, I'm not going to say it.
Also melting because of lightning. Melting because of lightning.
I'm also going to resist the bad joke there with golden water and not go there.
Thank you. I mean,
I'm going to be good.
I'm just saying. It's not good. The entire concept of their final battle and the victory is not good.
I've seen it. I know what you mean. It's been a long time now.
But yeah, no, and now you just imagine, like, you know, death metal Arnold Schwarzenegger as a drummer because he was Conan.
God.
There you go. A new thought in your head.
And on that note,
let's move on. Yeah, but Conan, the Exiles it's the third in the line of Conan books available now. I was really close to not talking about this one until I saw the Serpent Men because I wanted to reference Conan the Adventurer. That's the only reason I put it in.
oh god,
Because somewhere, 10-year-old me was like, "That's awesome, do it."
somewhere out there.
No. But let's move on and talk about another RPG line that's getting some interesting things. Stop going over there.
Go over there. Do it.
Give me a second here. Just do that and that.
Aliens.
Yeah, aliens. It's the Aliens. So Free League Press has announced their new starter and a new cinematic scenario for Aliens RPG, Destroyer of Worlds. And by cinematic scenario, I mean it's an adventure.
You got some Ripley in my Alien.
I don't know about that, but it could be true.
You got some Alien in my Ripley.
If it has its way. I mean, that's like it. Whoops, that's the top. That's not the browser. Big goals for a horrible alien monster. Get some alien in your Ripley. So they've been working with 20th Century Studios. The people of the Alien franchise. So 2 major expansions to the Alien RPG, which the core book is out. So August, we're gonna see a starter set. That's great. We're getting it very close. If we're seeing it, I think that's cool because it means there's been a popularity to it, and it looked neat. I think it's one that would be cool to try out. Definitely. So the starter set is $50. It includes a 104-page softcover, a quick start of the core rule books, 20 custom dice, reference cards, character handout, star map, a cinematic scenario called Chariot of the Gods. A big thing of stuff. And they're using a sci-fi author, Edward E.C. Gasca, who's written both that one and The Destroyer of Worlds, which is the adventure that's going to be coming out also. So August for the starter set, and also in August will be the module Destroyer of Worlds.
Yeah, and it looks like with the 20 dice, it's 2 sets.
Yeah.
They're D6s, so you could just use a D.
Do they have custom dice? I don't remember.
Well, they have a custom symbol on them, but it still looks like it's 1 through 6. And it looks like 6 might be the custom symbol, so you might still be able to play with a regular 6-sided die and just say 6s is the...
Yeah, I see 1, 2,
3, 4, 5,
and then
a custom symbol. So I think the custom symbol 6.
Yeah.
So you probably could play with regular 6-sided dice if need be.
But, sometimes it's cool to have...
It's always nice to have the actual die, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, since it looks like you're only getting 2 sets, I don't know how many dice per person you need. If you're running with a bunch of people, you could use some regular 6-sideds, or if you're playing online or something, a 6-sided die roller could work.
So, Destroyer of Worlds, it's a continuation of the Chariot of the Gods story, again, done by the same author. It's actually bringing in Colonial Marines, which is cool. So you're a team of Colonial Marines dropped into this one moon, fighting insurgents, and then Alien shows up. So that's kind of cool. That one's going to be $30. Yeah, I mean, Aliens was a really good RPG out at the end of last year. Really cool to see them doing some more product of it. Freely Press.
Yeah, they were selling really well at PAX last year.
Yes. They've done a good job of getting some horror into an RPG, because horror in RPG is difficult. Granted, I definitely want to try some stuff out on my own at some point in time here and see how much I feel like I can actually dive into that horror, but just saying, it's from everyone says they like it.
Right.
So, and they got a lot of stuff that you can like download, grab. You can go to their site and like order some stuff still. So, yeah, it's very good, cool things that we're seeing now. Definitely glad to see it. And glad to see them continuing to put out stuff for the game.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's the Alien RPG, Starter Set and Destroyer of Worlds, as they call it, cinematic module, as any other RPG person would call it. It's an adventure, not a campaign, it's adventure. You know. I would compare it if they had the, God, was it like the Mines of Fenerlis or something in the starter box of the 5th edition starter box, and then they had a continuation adventure of that. That's where I compare it. But let's continue our move on here, because there's always more stuff to talk about. And there is a couple more topics that I have on our agenda to talk about today. And the first one of these remaining two is, as I get it set up,
Kitara.
Kitara.
Reunite the Empire.
It sounds cool. I mean, it's got the title, it's got the jam coming out here for it. Like,
it's got a giant ass lion being rode by a warrior.
Yeah, it's true.
Attacking a buffalo, because a lion should not be the same size as a buffalo.
Yeah, no, a water... Actually, no, I would think that was more comparable to, like, a water buffalo, because it's got a definitely, like, African feel.
Okay, even so, lions aren't the same size, but water buffalo is still bigger than a lion.
Oh, yeah. Comparably, the lion should be a little smaller, but not too bad. Yeah. That's not too bad if we're talking about, like, a water buffalo.
But also, if you're considering the size, if those people on the back are human... Both of those beasts
they are giant. Yeah, they are both really large. They are huge in comparison if we're talking D&D size limits. But it's supposed to be African, the land of the African Great Lakes, which I don't know there was an African Great Lakes. It kind of makes me want to Google that. African Great Lakes. Yes, there is. There's an African Great Lakes in the Rift Valley. Neat. I've learned something. Every time I hear Great Lakes, I think of the U.S. because we have a place called the Great Lakes. Guess what? We're not the only ones.
It is 2 to 4 players, 10 and above, 40 minutes.
Yep. It's
and apparently, like, the Kitara Empire fell into ruins, and now it's changed into a bunch of independent kingdoms that are warring with each other.
It is an actual thing, too. The Empire of Kitara, also known as the Empire of Light, fell into decline and I think broke apart in the 1300s. Eventually, I don't know when it started. They don't really have a good bit of information here. But it was in the area of the Great Lakes of Africa. And it was an actual empire that existed. So this is based on real world things, which is neat. Though again, like giant lion, giant buffalo, it's probably like a...
There's still some fantasy added in.
It's a like fantastical version of an ancient empire that you're trying to like... And I think it sounds like what's going on is it's like it's supposed to be in that area where the empire's fallen to collapse, so you're trying to rebuild it.
Yeah.
So historically, we know the empire fell into collapse and declined and disappeared and was like assimilated by various cultures around it and kind of thing, a little before Europeans started showing up in Africa and over lots of the other parts of the world and being dicks.
Yeah.
I think the Spanish were already being dicks at that point in time, but just hadn't shown up.
Most of Europe were dicks at some point.
Yeah, they got better. Europe got better. They're a lot less like, I guess we don't need to conquer you. You're still good. You're still good.
Colonialism.
They had a lot of it. But yeah, so no.
So it's a game based on army movement and the control of territories, powered by an innovative and ingenious hand management system.
I mean, because it has an October release date, it tells me
Yeah.
it's quite a ways away, and it's like hard to say like how the heck is that? What the hell do you mean by that?
And the online, October 22nd, and the online release is November 5th.
For online, do they mean are they going to actually come out with an online version of it, or will it be like you can get it online and October 22nd you can get it in stores?
That might be, since they're not specifying, it might just be that they will start selling it online on the 5th, but they'll have it in stores sooner.
Yeah. Well, that's what most companies try to do, brick and mortars first and then everything. So it is like it's a game of conquest, resource management, looking through ancient ruins, recruiting soldiers. It's supposed to be a strategy game. And, and it sounds like an interesting 1 to 4 player strategy game, definitely. It's got a really cool setting.
2 to 4, not 1 to 4.
I'm sorry, 2 to 4.
There is not a solo mode.
That was just my speaking it. Yes. I mean, truthfully speaking, a lot of times when I'm finding stuff, first glances are what attracts me to this, and I'm sorry, the lion buffalo thing is what attracted me to talking about this in the first place. And now that we're talking about it, it's cooler than it was. It's like, it's cool. It's got this like kind of thing of like an actual hand area, like this. Like,
well, it's also interesting that it's actual history too.
Yeah, it's this empire that we have a little bit of information from. But I'm sorry, the Empire of Kitara's Wikipedia page is not a lot. It is small, meaning that this empire
probably a lot more oral history and relics than actual written history.
Yeah, it's
and
like
that's why
we don't have like a huge amount of information. It might be too like you'd have to like dive into depths about like actual papers and stuff.
Right. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is they might not have had a lot of written.
Yeah.
History, and without that, the reason we know Greek and Roman culture so well is written history.
Yeah.
Without that, you have large blank spaces then.
Yeah, and so it's just hard to say like what was there that survived or could be found. And the thing is, it is technically more modern empire, yeah. Because it fragmented up in like the 1300s. That's not too long ago in comparison to some other ones. Yeah. Yeah, it's like apparently there was a prophecy that everybody believed, so the ruling class just kind of left when there was an invasion, right when like the prophesied event happened, which was this like the sacred cow, I guess, dying. Which I'm assuming the sacred cow probably could die in certain ways. Cows grow old, but like if it just randomly died, I'm guessing it was prophesied to be the fall of the empire. Like it died of disease. It's like, well, there goes our empire.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyway, interesting matching history to it there for a little bit, and it's an interesting thing there to chat about. So, Kitara Reunite the Empire, coming out also later on this year, also in October. A lot of stuff being announced for October now. Granted, it's like not too many months away. It's like 5 months away, but still like pretty big distance away. And we have one final topic. This is an interesting one because it's got a very... This box art is creepy. I'm going to say that.
Do you know anything about the Batman That Laughs storyline?
Not at all.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Okay.
That's why it's so creepy, man.
Okay. Do you have information on that who can, like, provide us with this?
I know some stuff, but not a lot. I've seen stuff on the Batman Who Laughs.
Okay.
I know it's basically Batman gets corrupted by the Joker and basically becomes a combination of Batman and the Joker. Let's see, a fictional character. He is a supervillain and an evil counterpart to the alternative version of Batman within the multiverse. He is depicted as a hybrid of both Batman and the Joker, and is a member of the Dark Knights.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. He's a horrific villain now.
Yeah. Wow,
and yeah, he collects chained up robins.
Yeah, no, that's creepy. And so, of course, they're doing, I guess, one of their, like, rising versions of things. Oh, God. They have the little statue of him with, like, the robins on leashes. That's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Batman ends up killing the Joker, but Batman is exposed to a purified form of chemicals that gradually turn him into a new fusion of Batman and the Joker. It has Bruce Wayne's intelligence and physical strengths and the Joker's psychopathy and warped mind.
It's the newest cooperative card game and dice game, and so the Batman Who Laughs is the center of that. Work together, recruit key superheroes to dominate a host of supervillains. Patches from the dark multiverse has allowed the most dangerous evildoer to infiltrate Gotham City. Okay, so basically, like, the storyline is kind of like, Passage from the Multiverse opens, and he shows up in normal world. And so, like, normal Batman has to, like, recruit other heroes to fight, like, super villain version of himself.
Yeah, and you have 4 starting heroes: Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Batman.
Yeah.
And then also
they're all their custom sculptures to colored figures. That's kind of cool too.
Yeah, I mean, hell, it's worth it almost just for the figures themselves.
Yeah, God, the figure of the it's because it's custom sculpted, fully colored. That thing is like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, for $50, some people might just buy that figure.
Let me put this up so people can see it. Let me just quickly get to that and be able to be like, this is the crazy image, so people can see it. But yeah, I can see that people would get it just for the figure. Now, granted, it's going to be small, but still, and part of the game.
It's still awesome looking.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it looks like. That is the creepy figure that, we're talking about. Yeah. Oh, God.
With the chained up robins.
Yeah, with the chained up robins. Yeah. It's just really weird and creepy. And apparently they've got other villainous versions of Batman.
Yeah, because it's all part of the Dark Knights.
Yeah, the Dark Knights.
Of the Dark Multiverse.
Yeah.
Which are all evil Batmen.
Evil Batmans. Very interesting. So it's interesting to see more of them that are out there. So it is the 5th installment of the Rising game series of Faithful Batman. Because they did like I think just a Batman one before for it. So like this is I feel like this is a much interesting version of it. Like of the Rising series.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just because it's got like a very interesting storyline. I guess that's the best way to say it. Like they've come up with their own kind of storyline from it. What was the Rising series? Okay, I'm missing like what games were in it. So I thought we talked about it. It was Talisman Batman that we talked about before. It might have been Star Wars. I don't know.
Give me a second.
Because there's an Avengers Infinity War with Thanos Rising.
There's Star Wars, Dark Side Rising, SpongeBob, Plankton Rising, Thanos, Avengers Infinity War, and Harry Potter, Death Eaters Rising.
Maybe we didn't talk about one of these before.
Well, I know we didn't talk about SpongeBob.
No.
I think we talked about the Thanos one, but we didn't talk about Star Wars or the Harry Potter one.
Yeah, we might have mentioned the Thanos one. Yeah. That sounds like one we could have talked about. It's hard to remember everything we talked about after 100 episodes.
I'm pretty sure we did talk about Thanos. Because that one seems familiar, but we didn't talk about the Death Eaters, Star Wars, or SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Which of these is not like the others?
I'm not saying nothing. I am just sticking out of that one because,
Well, if you're not saying nothing, that means you're saying something.
Look, USAopoly has a lot of interesting products that vary from, like, one end of the spectrum to the other.
Oh, I agree. But when you're looking at Star Wars, Thanos, Harry Potter, Batman Who Laughs, and SpongeBob...
I'm sorry. Well, look, we have on one end SpongeBob, the other one Batman Who Laughs, and the other three are really in the center because they're just not creepy. Like I could have seen we could have had like the other three and the SpongeBob one, and we'd be like, oh, that's kind of weird, but okay, sure, why not, But then we go to like the dark, super creepy thing that I've got pictured here, on the other end. We went
and
left
also
field.
Batman whose eyes are covered by a row of spikes.
Yeah, no, it's just it's the opposite end from the SpongeBob, and it makes the SpongeBob seem like stupider. Not to mention that it might be a fun game. I'm not saying because we haven't played, but it seems like a weirder choice. That's the word I would say. The weirder choice. Yeah, the more for kids.
That one's only
Stranger
8+.
Kids. Well, I'm sure the Batman Who Laughs
is not 8+.
No,
it's
15 plus. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that figure is the only figure.
Okay, that figure's the only figure.
It stays in the middle of the board.
I'm sorry. It's actually quite big if you look at it.
Yeah, it's actually a decent sized figure.
Yeah. So for 50
that's what I'm saying. For $50. Even someone who just wants that figure, now it's probably not like as high quality as like the individual figures that are meant to be collectibles.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like a $25 figure, I would say.
Yeah.
But then you're paying $25 for the figure and $25 for the game. That's still not bad.
Nope. Not at all.
And it has custom dice.
That's something to consider getting. We'll talk about that off the stream there. But like one of the other things I was looking into randomly, I just checked up on while we were finishing up with this. But yeah, Batman Laughs, crazy. No, I had been clicking on stuff for the Alien RPG, and it's at half price right now on for the PDF. Yeah. Maybe I won't be interested in it. I don't know if I'm if I'm spending right now. But anyway, so yeah, that's creepiness of Batmans. Yeah, that's a thing that now exists.
Yeah, so you get one Batman figure, one deployment zone tile, 4 double-sided Dark Knight track tiles, 1 Dark Knight die, 1 Batman Who Laughs die, 15 hero dice, 32 Dark Knight track counters, 60 damage counters, 4 team deployment tokens, 30 bonus tokens, 4 team deployment tokens, 30 bonus tokens, 4 team ability cards, 38 character, hero and villain cards, 7 Dark Knights cards, and a rulebook.
Neat. So, yay! So, Batman Rising there. The Batman Who Laughs Rising. It is,
I would consider getting that.
Yes, it's a very interesting game. But, let's move on to our regular segments, because we usually have a couple of regular segments here. Deeper Discussion's been on hold for, like, hiatus because we aren't meeting physically with everything that's been going on.
And the few things we have done online have been games we played multiple times.
I think Conan is the only game that we'll talk about that in a second. We've tried one game that we didn't do. Kickstarter Korner, do you have a Kickstarter?
I have one to give a highlight and one to go into a little bit more.
Okay.
Actually, more of them is both highlights, but I'll start with this one, Maztec. I'm going to put it in check. Give me a second. Paste. Chat. So this one I just saw and it's just interesting. It's a Jigsaw competitive board game.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it just kind of like when I saw that it was a weird combination, and I'm like, that's different. I would talk about that. Yeah. So their goal is $22,168. They have 4,530. They have 17 days still to go. It's coming out in several languages. It's age 7+, 1 to 4 players, and it is a it's a unique experience for wonderful players with a few minutes for setup and a simple rule. To play quickly. The first board game based on a double-sided jigsaw puzzle with modern board game rules. It is a competitive jigsaw puzzle game of collecting and connecting with a combinationary twist. It introduces a new sort of game combining the juxtaposition of pieces by a combination of symbols and interweaving of jigsaw puzzle pieces. So you're kind of building out a map.
Interesting.
So I just thought it was something to throw out there, that it was something different. Not a huge thing to dive deep into, but
it's definitely something interesting.
And then the other thing I wanted to bring up was a company that we had talked to in the past. Blink's game system is introducing 20 new games.
Oh, so Blinks is doing a 20 new games thing on their on Kickstarter. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Their goal is 100,000. They're at $63,093. They have 27 days still to go. So I don't see them not getting that goal.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them. Their system is really interesting. And the fact that they're introducing 20 new games is really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Something with Reactor, Raid, Group Therapy, Paintbrush, Dark Ball.
Dark Ball. Of course.
Pirates and Lasers are some of the new games that are coming out.
Why is that not?
And let's see, for the basic one starts at $79 or more. You get 6 Blink games. $138, you get Blink's 12-pack as an early bird special, which comes with 6 games on 6 Blinks. $149 is a 12-pack. $179 is an 18-pack. And it goes up from there.
Yeah.
Oh God, 1,000 Blinks for $7,999.
Yeah.
And it says, yes, this will totally work. You can connect as many Blinks as you'd like, and it will make for absurdly large games, beautiful interactive installations, and one heck of a toddler's dance floor.
Yeah, so it looks like if you don't have any, the 199 might be the way to go, because that would be all 18 games.
Yeah.
Granted, like, some games you might want more than 18 pieces, but for a digital physical gaming system, because that's the way I try to describe it, it's pretty good. Cool.
Oh, also they had one of the super early birds they had was 159 for the 18 pack.
Oh, so you could have gotten cheaper. Yeah, that would have been really good.
Those sold out really quick.
I'm sure.
Heck, the $59 pledge one sold out really quick too. That was a six pack for $59.
Jeez.
But I think their system's really interesting. If it's something you'd be interested in, I totally supporting these people.
Yeah. So why don't we move on to our week in tabletop? Technically 2 weeks, because we missed last week. We just things were going on, couldn't do it.
Yep.
So 2 weeks of gaming. Well, we had one grinding gears.
Yes. You had made it to the first planet you have encountered. Outside the starting one. You've gotten a ship. It still needs some work, but it is now at least space worthy. And you also have met a contact who is a follower of Fedor, who has given you some places that you can go.
Yeah.
So your space adventures can begin. And you've all gotten your new abilities and have acclimated a little more into this world.
Yeah, that's true. We have acclimated a little bit more.
You've had some training sessions. You at least have some basic understandings.
Understandings? Why would I understand anything about what's going on?
You're going to be getting some memory flashes.
I wanted to talk to you about something. God, I wanted to talk to you about something, and I forgot to. We'll have to chat about it.
Offside?
Yeah, offside. Just something that I thought would be interesting about my own history and stuff. That would be neat. That I don't know what you were thinking about. But anyway, that'll be to the side.
Yeah.
So I had some more of Records of Evil. In that one, they learned that they were being hunted by a primeval massive Yuan-ti anathema, thanks to this dwarf that led them into it. And then they decided to use a planar portal scroll to summon a devil to help out, and happened to summon a son of Asmodeus, who then, with their help, brought an entourage to the plane of living, which soon afterwards they met a Quasit who's like, yeah, you guys just destroyed the boundaries, we're back. Because the boundaries between the outer planes were strengthened, so you couldn't really go between them much anymore. And they're like, yay, it's Christmas! It's like, we're back because you are. The angels are planning some kind of crusade because all the religions are all not good anymore, kind of thing, A lot of bad stuff's happening because of them.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no? Yeah. And then they went to a Yuan-ti city and got some oil to take back to their vessel, because they had some damage that they needed to get replacement. So they had enough fuel to get back to Mazdaca. That's where they're ready to do now. Head back to Mazdaca. Legacies of Cain. Dawn had a trippy adventure, and then woke up. Yeah, so she had some fun there. Being in Topor, and then a spirit attempting to connect her, while something else was hunting her.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was pleasant. And then we had 2 sessions of Children of Wrath, which were both fun.
Under the sea.
Yeah, more sea adventures. We had the episode where they went to a exotic dancing club for merfolk. Went on a date.
The seedy underbelly.
Went to the seedy underbelly where there was other types of dates. The kind that are paid for, and materials that are not normally legal, that would be ingested, that were acquired, which the person that bought them highly regrets it. And I really want her to take the third one, because things will be interesting will happen when she does. If not, I'll have to save it. I'll have to save it for something out for another time. But if she
You
takes
know
it right
she
away,
will at some point.
oh God, and when she will, it'll be wonderful. Yeah.
We also saw the Emperor.
You also met the Emperor. Yeah, no.
He seemed okay.
It seemed okay. Maxwell got the usual, like, should I murder these people kind of thing, because they know too much.
Yeah.
Thoughts in the head, I can't kill them.
And we're all going to get a spell cast on us.
Yeah, gas. You're going to get gassed.
Which is most dangerous for me, because I have so many personalities that could blab, and I don't have even close to 50 hit points yet. I'm at 39.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's above the average roll on that, so you probably would survive.
Yeah.
Probably.
I just thought it was funny that Max was so against doing it, and it's like, dude, I'm the one that's actually the most likely to blab.
Well, I think it's also like
my personalities.
Most of us have experience with the gas spell and like how it works and kind of things, and like his character, he as a player doesn't too, so that comes into Maxwell a little bit. But Maxwell also probably might be kind of resident on like having powerful magic cast on you.
Well, I'm not happy about it either, but I'm just like, if this gets us the information that we need, because we really haven't seen the evil guy again yet, but we have no information on what or who he is.
Nope.
So and also we're going to be probably parting ways with Nim in the not so distant future. He may have been biding his time that we're not to come after us again when we're not with someone so powerful.
That actually is probably a good point.
So we need to do this before Nim goes away, and we have an idea of what we're dealing with.
Gives you some time. Yeah. That's basically what it is you have some time almost.
Yeah.
You've been under the protection of someone from, like, plot damage. But that doesn't mean it's not there and hunting you and stalking you at every turn.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
But,
I'm sure it's been, like, a step away from us constantly.
Yep. I was just saying, Kazran knows what he has, so he has an idea of probably why they're after it.
Yes, he has not told anyone else, so...
Yeah.
We don't know.
Nope. Which kind of, we'll see how that goes.
And there's also Carrie's whole backstory of, demon cult that's after her.
Yeah.
And then Max and I's background of, evil scientists who might be still after us.
Yeah, the only person that doesn't have, like, a horrible, like, shadow in their background is Wintress.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, I don't mind that I don't add anything in. I'm like, Winchester is just the straight, like, the straight man of the group kind of thing, like the person that has, like...
I'm caught up in all this crap, but like, I love Carrie, so...
Like, I really love Carrie, so, hey, whatever, we'll deal with it, Which I'm not quite sure how to pick up Wintress's love of Carrie yet, too. Like, is it just more like, sibling, platonic? Is there actually like romance there? It's hard to pick up with Wintress, so I'm interested to see like the direction that Lindsay takes it, and I think she could take it any of those directions and develop it more in those directions.
True.
Yeah, but it's interesting. The character development, the character dynamic between them to a degree. And you can always hear their random conversations in freaking chat because they keep putting it in there.
Yes. Little private talks.
On the side, I did play some more Divinity 2. That's been fun. I keep talking about that one a little bit. Playing as our characters has been a very interesting thing, and developing like a role playing kind of thing. Like I think I talked a little bit about the character I have is very like, money oriented to a degree. He wants to get all like, he will build his fortune and his empire and his like title, but he also realizes that his family was shady as shit. He was not the greatest noble family. And maybe he'll have a redemption arc in the end. He's been doing some nice things. Granted, gaining a profit for it, but we'll see. We did some tabletop games randomly.
Yes.
We did manage to play things like Mysterium.
Which we unfortunately lost.
It's hard to do Mysterium because I just, Lindsay's a good friend. It's just I don't understand her mind at all. Sometimes.
We don't know her well enough to play with the Dixit cards, especially.
Again, it's like, it's maybe not even know well enough. It's just like, you have to get a little grasp of someone's mind to a degree. Like, I could grasp kind of maybe what you're thinking. There's a couple other people that I can read. I'm not good at reading. She's difficult to read, is I think the thing, too.
Yeah.
So she's a person that's difficult to read, and that also kind of hinders it. That's why Lee, I think, picked up on what she was thinking.
Like, with you and I, we've known each other for a long time. We know how each other think, in general.
But I think, like, also, like, Lee is very straightforward in his thought pattern, so I think I could read Lee pretty well. Lee can read Lindsay. He understands her mind very well too. It's like there's parts of like her mind like I just sometimes, it's like, what are you doing that for? And I'm like, oh, okay, you're just doing that. Kind of things like that. Yeah. But it was still fun. It's just like definitely we were really bad at connecting together with what she was trying to tell us.
We also played a really short game of Werewolf.
Yes.
That it ended up being ridiculous just because you were the werewolf, you managed to kill the cult leader, and I lucked out and randomly chose to kill you as the witch.
Yep.
Which ended the game because we killed the werewolf.
Yeah, no, it was like you were just like, oh, let's go kill someone. It was like, wow, Jesus.
I'm randomly going to kill Tansis here, and it turns out he was the werewolf, and it won us the game in one round.
Yeah, no. Random chance. But we were at that point in time where we could have had 2 werewolves too, but I think, like, it's kind of a hard thing, like that 6-player level, because we're technically, like, they really want you to do it with 7 players and 1 person running it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, well, we could have 2 werewolves, but that's a lot of werewolves per people kind of thing, at that point in time. And that's why I kind of went for the cult leader, because that's another, like, evil I'm going to win in my own way kind of thing. But
yeah. And then we tried Codenames.
Codenames was actually fun. It was an interesting game. I've seen Codenames, and I think I have played it before one time, but it's like a decade ago, so I'm like barely remembering it, and I think I did like
that
one
was
round.
My first time, and Lee was a good clue giver.
Yes.
Overall, I think there was only one time we had no idea.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's kind of straightforward in his thought pattern, so it's like, oh, okay, I think he's going for this.
Well, when you would see what Lindsay was doing, she was really good at getting the code names.
Yeah.
I think it's the abstract nature of the cards leads to different. When you look at one of those like Dixit cards, or even the Mysterium cards, because they are very similar, you focus on something on it, and just the things that she focuses on in there are a different direction than a lot of us would focus on.
Yeah.
Like, I try to, like, look at something and be like, what is this hint on me in the card that connects up with what I'm doing, or these cards? What's similar between them, and how does that match up to something in front of me?
Yeah. What's the overarching thing that connects them, and what connects to the options? Granted,
sometimes it can be colors. Sometimes it can be, like, there are certain things, like, that you might notice that might be there. But, like, there was a couple of steps there that I understood why she chose that, but it was also like, ow.
Yeah, it didn't occur to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was everything we did.
Yep.
And then we got some more grinding gears tomorrow.
Yeah, we do have grinding gears tomorrow. So, And I think that's where we kind of go into, since we do have a consultant table, so if you have any questions about anything that you want to throw up into the chat here on Twitch, comments on YouTube, messages to Discord, you can go in through my Discord server linked below on Twitch, and also linked on the YouTube video in the description. You can message us directly there or in the server. There's a Discussing Tabletop section there. Email us at discussingtabletop@yahoo.com. Or add us at Dracovin at JWSecret81 for Joe, just to be like, hey, I'm messaging you here. What's going on? What can you answer this question? If it's something that definitely we can just throw out here, answer you right then and there. It's just a simple thing. We'll do it. But if it's a question that we feel like is best discussed here, we'll bring it up here. Or if you want us to discuss it on the show, just let us know that too. We'll let you know if it's a big question that we feel like other people would help from talking about. We'll probably bring it onto the show. But yeah, so grinding gears tomorrow.
Yes. And we'll see what the. I will be giving you guys the options of what planets that you can visit. I'm sure that you're probably going to try to go to one of the planets that has the followers of Fedor to get more contacts and understanding of what's going on and possibly some jobs. So you can continue upgrading your ship that's partially broken. Or at least, I guess, missing pieces.
Yep. For my stuff, nothing on Tuesday. We're down a person for the games already, so Tuesday's off. So it will be 2 weeks off of Vampire, but just we'll probably be back the next week after that. Children of Wrath should be on schedule. I may be doing something special during the week, but stay tuned for announcements, because it will be short announcements, and it depends on if I can organize something, like maybe today. I'll think about it. Just because there was some things that snuck up on me this year.
Mystery.
Yeah. So if it's something unique, one-shotty kind of thing like that, I'll put it up there. And we might get some more one-shots anyway, because I've been thinking of considering just some short things, especially because D&D has been offering a bunch of Adventure League material for free. So I'm like, I could throw together some adventures based on these things.
Yeah, and now that we're not meeting up on Saturdays for the near future.
Yeah, definitely.
And we still have every other Sunday open.
That's true, at least at this point in time. So, anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day, feeling safe, feeling healthy. I will be back in about 20 minutes or so for Divinity 2. Expect me then. After a short break here, I'm gonna go grab some food and go do that. Joe, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
And probably some other streams during the week. Gaming streams, definitely. Expect me to probably do them Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I'll let people know if things are going on or if I'm canceling stuff. So, anyway, hope you all have a good one. And goodbye for now. Farewell.
Bye.